Hello everyone. I'm happy to invite Team SKILLEIT for today's Expert Corner interview by projectcontest.com. So SKILLEIT is an educational startup recognized by DPIIT Government of India with a vision to nurture entrepreneurship spirit and mindset among students and youth. So it was started by Kunnwar, Vijay, Parmar and Ritu Srivaastava as the founders of SKILLEIT. They are recognized as Innovation Ambassador by Institution Innovation Council, Ministry of Education Initiative. We welcome you, sir, for today's Expert Corner interview. Welcome.
Thank you, Rajshekharji.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation in the busy schedule and coming for this interview for the betterment of the student community and the entrepreneurship pursuing students. So, to tell in detail about Mr. Kunnwar Vijay Parmar, so he is a social entrepreneur and innovator, and he is a founder of India's first farm tourism project, and he has graduated MBA in certification in entrepreneurship from Harvard. And to tell about Madam Ritu Srivaastava, she is an architect with certification in innovation management and entrepreneurship from MIT, and she was vice president in design management, Smitomo Corporations. Happy to once again welcome you, sir and madam.
Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you, ma'am. So moving on to our first question. So, what is SKILLEIT? What the works are carried out in SKILLEIT, ma'am? Over to you.
So, thank you, Rajshekharji, for inviting us, and it's our pleasure to be here on your show. And we'll try to motivate students to be more, become an entrepreneur and innovator. So SKILLEIT is basically SKILLEIT. So skill in entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship through tools and games. So our vision is to nurture entrepreneurship, intrapreneurship, which is very important, which is for the students who are going to the job sector, who are going to the corporate, but they also need to nurture entrepreneurial skills. And our entire focus is basically to design the programs which is based on games and tools. So everything is very activity based, it's fun, and a lot of application. There is no lecture kind of thing. There is no boring classes or sessions. So everything is very exciting and engaging for the students. And we have innovated world's first startup game. Maybe Kunnwar, you can show it. So this is the physical game, card game, which is the world's first startup game, which takes you to the entire journey of a startup, from the opportunity identification to idea, co-founder, mentor, MVP, investment, and to the scalability. So when this is a 4 students which can play the game, and they learn the entire journey. They learn what are the problems, what are the solutions. They learn there are a lot of lifelines, lot of tricks. So they learn about collaboration, negotiation, and a lot of skills. And we have the online version of this also. So like during in COVID times, we are doing everything online. So students play the game. And then in the next sessions, they go on to the different activities and sessions, which includes like design thinking, innovation, and all those things. But everything is very activity based and focused. So Kunnwar, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, so it's very exciting when you share your vision and mission with such a widespread platform like yours, which is Contest. So we started very humble vision where we wanted to nurture entrepreneurship at grassroots level. We felt that there is a big gap, and especially in country like India, which has 1+ billion population, we need multiple layers of people and organization working. We can't just expect that government will change everything or some institution alone will change. So me being a social entrepreneur, I had my learnings from my first entrepreneurial journey and the rest of them. And then I start thinking, why should I not share my journey with the other upcoming budding entrepreneurs? Because when I started my journey, I had multiple questions and I had no one single place where I can go and find answers. I can find a mentor, I can find some people who are expert for some specific subject, but they are not telling me the entire starting to end. And that's what the problem we wanted to solve. That's where we made this game, which is world's first game-based entrepreneurship development program, which take a student from very scratch, even from idea generation, what kind of idea you should generate, and how do you shape up those ideas, and you go up in that journey. And we made a 13-stage journey program where student has to play, and by playing they get engaged and they apply their learning on each stage, and they learn to the entire journey of from ideation to bootstrapping, founding a team, and scalability, funding, everything is there. Also, the big another part is which takes much of time of an entrepreneur is what are the challenges which are going to come and what are the possible solutions. And that's the biggest pitfall, because every entrepreneur has to go fail and learn, and it becomes one of the biggest reasons for failure. So we have already included all those possible challenges you will face, whether you are a small micro entrepreneur or you are a big company, you will have certain challenges, and what could be the possible strategies and solutions for them. So during this entire gamified version, they go through the entire journey in a very small, very standard format, and they are well prepared to take a decision to kickstart their journey. And as Ritu said, we are not stick with the dogma of saying that entrepreneurship is only starting a startup. No, entrepreneurship is a mindset which you can apply anywhere. And as Ritu again said, that it is also applicable to your career, wherever you are, whatever position, responsibility you have, either as a mother, father, or a corporate leader. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you will have multiple solutions, you will be able to find problems, and you will be also able to find solution for them, rather not just talking always about problems. So that is the holistic approach we take. And yes, with COVID new challenges, we have taken that as a blessing in disguise. We are doing both now, offline versions and online version, entire gamified, engaging, because we understand that student doesn't have any idea what entrepreneurship is. We have to get into their shoes. We have to excite them first about this topic itself, and gamified is the best way for now to get them engaging, get them exciting, and then through gamified version get them slowly on the application side of it and helping them with coming up with ideas and innovation. So that is the overall journey till now. It's going good. We have been working with started with the Ministry of Education India, where we train more than 200 faculties through offline training kit. And because of COVID, then it stopped. But in between, then we were doing project with Haryana government. We did project already now ongoing with Mizoram government, which is running entirely online. So we are doing entirely almost pan India now, from south to north, and also we have done projects in Singapore. We have done projects in Africa, in Kenya, and other. And we look forward to collaborate with platforms like you and spread more and add more value to the ecosystem. Thank you, Rajsekhar.
Yes, sir. Great, sir. I think you have coined this startup in a different way in order to promote entrepreneurship in rural-based people all across the world, not only in pan-India. I think all across the world you are doing the works. And we also, when we saw your profile and when you saw your websites, and we are very happy to collaborate with people like you in order to, because our tagline, we are working in spreading innovations. I think you are spreading entrepreneurship across the world. Really, it is a nice initiative, sir. So moving on to the next question is that what are the other initiatives from SKILLEIT, sir, apart from the gamified learning? Whether various other initiatives are done by SKILLEIT?
Yeah, so as we said, that SKILLEIT is not just the entrepreneurship, the intrapreneurship part of it, which we already told a little bit about, that how do you apply the entrepreneurial skill in your career. But then the another bigger part is the life skills, the 21st century skills, which are again common for any entrepreneur, for any person, or whatever you do in life. Your 21st century skills are becoming the major component of your success story, which includes the digital skills, which include the life skill and other skills. They are also part of our entire program, which unfortunately it's not tangibly seen, because you learn, let's say collaboration, you learn within when you are going through our process. But yeah, you cannot show that tangibly that you have learned, but it changes how do you play in a community, how do you behave with a group, how do you collaborate and give value to both sides of the stakeholders. So these are the things which are somewhere hidden, and they are very core of our program. And that's also the new initiative which we are promoting, and we are coming up with new innovative way for learning. That's where we call it a Toogle approach, which is tools and games for learning and outcome. Other than that, we are very keen to get into more rural area. The very core of our organization, and why we made this offline program, is because still India is very far ahead from the day when we will think that entire India and any nick and corner we will have a very good internet connectivity, right? We don't have right now. So what we will do with the tribal belt, what we will do with the rural areas where there are hardly 10, 15, 100 people in far Arunachal, you go into Mizoram, it's even hard to reach them, forget about connectivity, right? So we wanted this physical tool to reach, so people can do and conduct this program on a self-learning mode. So another big thing what we kept always when we were building this model, that it should not be dependent on any third party, a mentor or a teacher. That's why we call anybody who is indulged, including us, we are just the facilitator. We tell you how the entire program will happen, how you use those tools, how you use those games, and then it is the participant who is going to apply it, because we believe that entrepreneurship is something learning swimming, right? You, Rajshekar sir, let's say if you are teaching someone swimming, you won't jump for him in the pool. It is him who has to jump. But yes, you will tell him where to start with, what are the techniques. You will give him some jacket, life jacket initially, right? That's all what we give. And rest, they have to jump into the water and learn that by their own, way. And another final thing what we give them is, because entrepreneurship is a very prospective thing. For you, entrepreneurship is different. For me, it is different, right? So what entrepreneurship means for you, it is your decision. You want to do it, apply it as a startup, you are free. You want to apply as a person, you want to improve, great. Or if you want to apply it as a career. So we leave that to the participant. Although we have very focused projects also when we are doing for certain startups, definitely we are sticking to that. But the scope is very open, and it applies to everyone from a child who is in 6th, 7th class. Why he should not be taught entrepreneurship? Because when we were talking initially to many stakeholders, into the government, even in private institution, they think that maybe it should be only taught to 10th, 11th class. But we said no. It is like when you are making a pottery. Once the potter make any pot, it is done. You can't mold it. You can only break it, right? And then it becomes different. So same is with the entrepreneurship and a child psychology. It is better to catch them young and start them giving the fine seeding of entrepreneurship. And that's why we believe it should be started from very early of the school with small activities. And again, the game is the best way to indulge students. So these are the initiatives we are taking, from going to deep rural India. And also Ritu will tell you about a new game we are coming up, which is called Rasoipreneur, especially for women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so I'll just add before that, like this is the game, and we have the game and the entire kit.
Yes.
So that's a complete program. So it can go anywhere. We have Schoolpreneur, which is separate for the school students, Collegepreneur, which is for the college students. So they can, like any trainer or any teacher, they can take this kit and take a 1 or 2 days training, and then they can do the workshops and with the students. Another thing is, I would like to add the innovation part, like which you are doing, and I was very impressed when I saw your tagline, spreading innovation. In India, like our students, or we don't think much about innovation, because we think that this is something like something very big. We have to do something like some rocket science, then it will become innovation.
Like so yoga was before 10, 20 years.
Yeah. So we used to listen that, some film actors were doing yoga and they are like very young, because then we didn't know that we can also do it. So innovation is something like that nowadays. Like students think that you have to do some great thing to do the innovation. So we try to tell them there are a lot of techniques and there are a lot of methods, and do the micro innovation, do the think small at that perspective. In the small things you can do the innovation.
Simple, yeah.
Yeah, think simple. Yeah, you can say. Like India is like we are number 2 in population, I think, yes. And we are, I think, 51 in the innovation in the world. So you can see the gap where we are right now. So also we want to change like that. And also we have made some different games. We are trying, it's a Rasoipreneur, which is on the journey of a rasoi, how you prepare the food and how you manage your kitchen. And that gives you the entire learning of a startup. So that can go with the rural women or in the rural areas. They can learn whatever they are doing, they are managing, they already know the process, but they don't know how to apply it. So we are thinking of a lot of games.
So
likewise.
What we do is we don't try to reinvent the wheel. We try to take the core of that particular focus group. So let's say if you are talking of women, we believe women already they are entrepreneurs. Whatever they do multitasking. They manage the entire house, they manage their kids, they manage their husband, everyone. They have to keep everyone happy. They manage finance also. So they are already entrepreneur. How to make them believe, how to bring out that entrepreneurial thing more into tangible, and also give them some tools which through them they can apply in real life and make a venture out of it. So that is the core idea of Rasoipreneur. That being whatever you are doing in rasoi, in kitchen management is very big thing, from purchasing to managing inventory, and there is a lot of things which actually, and if you see a big industry, they do all those processes, buying, procuring, processing, keeping everyone happy, which is different clients, which are your son, daughter, husband, everyone is demanding everything, different special cuisines. So how do you keep them happy? So you are already doing that. Now you have to take that learning and your core strength to the market. So that's how we build the entire, new developing tools and games. So that's how we keep, and we also keep ourselves open. Even when we go and play and conduct this program with a child, we always ask from his perspective, her perspective, that are you liking it? What else we can add to make it more simple, make it more fun? Because it's a continuous journey, and again, innovation has to be simple, it has to be realistic, it has to be practically approachable and executable, and it is a continuous process. There is no one frame that, okay, I have done and this is my innovation. It is continuous innovation process. So that's what we keep on doing, and with the help of people like you, we are getting slowly ahead in the game. Thank you.
Nice initiative, sir. Yeah. When you say about women entrepreneurship, as you mentioned, when we also promote our works in our various social platforms like Facebook or Instagram like that, for every 100 men, only 3 to 4 women will be viewing that post. When we get the statistics from Facebook or any other social media, for every 100 men, only 3 to 5 women only viewing. So the initiative, what you have took is really nice one, sir. To promote women entrepreneurship is very, very important and key one, because many women has a good idea, but they don't know how to approach. Even as a teacher, when I motivate to the students also, especially when we guide for the women students, the girl students, they will be fearing about innovations. They will tell that how I don't know, I want to how to select the project, how do I want to select the components, and I don't know how to purchase the components like that. For the fear factor, the woman is not that much working towards the innovations. I think your initiatives and your gamified learning will encourage more women entrepreneurs in India and across the globe.
Sure.
Nice initiative, sir.
Thank
So moving on to the next question is that, so next, this interview we have mentioned that we will be discussing about Toycathon initiative by MIC of the Government of India. So what is Toycathon 2021, sir? What will be happening in Toycathon? I want to hear from your side.
So that's a very interesting actually activity, and that's a very interesting challenge which has been initiated by the government, Ministry of Education, and it's under Atmanirbhar Bharat, which has been launched by our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. So that gives a very great opportunity to all the students, youngsters, teachers, even startups to build the game and toys, which gives you some learning. So if you see in the Ministry of Education, AICT, he has also recommended that whatever is the entire curriculum, 30% of that curriculum should be games or activity based. And that's a great initiative actually, and that's going to change our entire educational system maybe in coming few years. So in this Toycathon, what happens, there are various categories where students, like school students, college students, or the startups, they can give their initial ideas on the game, and that should be based on some learning, and I think that should be based on some Indian culture, ethos, and where you use like Vedas and all the traditions. So basically, if you want to show something which has not been shown in all these years, like which our next generation can learn through the games and the toys. So that's a nice initiative, and we are also very keen, and we are ready to help the students, whoever wants to submit those ideas. If they have any rough idea how to shape up that idea, how to present in that form of the submission, they have to make some little bit of MVP of that game or the toy, because we have gone through this journey. And like in the last 2-3 years, I think when we started with this game, this is kind of 7th or 8th version of the game. So when we go to the students or when we go to people, we see a lot of feedback, comments, or maybe if we don't receive, we observe that the part is how this is helping in the learning, or how this is making long or short and all those things.
Yes, so Toycathon is, I think it's one of the great initiative government has taken, and they are, I think, now thinking out of box, which is very, very crucial for breaking the way education was happening. And that's the only way we can actually give real kind of learning. So what we were doing from last 50-60 years, unfortunately, was not educating students. We were giving them certification degrees, that's all. And that's why 80%, 90% of all our graduates, they are not actually eligible for any good job, because they don't learn anything, and it doesn't come because there is no application what we are teaching. Now the game based learning is always application based, right? And the way it teaches you, the process becomes so engaging, and it becomes non-dependent on a teacher, right? Because when a kid is playing any toy, when you see, when we were playing toys, we were lucky at least we had played with some desi toys of Indian culture, and we still have those great memories. And there's a very good impact on your learning, your entire growth of as a child. So any game has very, very, especially the offline games. Online game has their own advantage, but whatever you do in physical terms, and with any game, you connect with that object, with that game. You connect emotionally, you connect physically. You are doing it in real term, right? You are learning how to move, how to throw it, how to play with it, and your mind is getting cope up with the strategies and everything, right? You fail, you again try, and then you succeed at some time. That gives you a confidence that you can do. So there are very, very small intrinsic things which you learn by gamification and this kind of initiative, which you never learn by books, because that is frame. 2 plus 2, that's all. You cannot go beyond it. What we are doing, again, as Ritu told, we have made a special web page for that. We are promoting the entire, this campaign, so it reaches to more and more people. That's what we are doing, and with the help of people like you. And also we are openly offering our support to anybody, because whatever we know on the game side, whatever we have learned in 2-3 years, we are happy to support them, because playing a game and designing a game is very different game itself. It takes very technical things. You have to do storyboarding, you have to define what the participant or the focus group is, who's going to play, what will be the psyche. There are a lot of elements of that. So it helps to people, and people are coming to us, and we are helping them with the basic design and wherever they have some issues. And we look forward that India has more and more such games, and those are accepted and applied in the education system. So we have more bright and students coming up, and India become a more Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that's all about what we are trying to do with Toycathon. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice, sir. So I think you have completely explained the process of Toycathon. So you said that you will be helping the students and motivating the students for Toycathon. So how to approach you, sir? How the students can approach you, or the institutions can approach, or individual startups can approach you?
Yes, so once we have made a page, we will share with you, and we are already sharing in our social media and others. So they can they have a simple form with whatever they want to write to us with their email and all, and basic, if they have an idea. Otherwise they can just give us a raw that I want to make something like this, right? And this could be very vast. You can take anything which is related to your culture, it is related to your whatever indigenous things which are not anymore or they are dying, any old toys you had, or also digitized version of it. So it's a very widespread option where you can work it for education, otherwise also. So that's how we help, and then we take them through a process. First session is to tell them about the basics of what exactly game is all about, what is the concept of game, what are the basic elements, why people love game, and how do you start, what is the right way to approach, and then how do you go process wise, how do you define the storyboarding and elements, and then go about it. So that's how we try to help them. Yes.
And also whatever we are getting on our website, the ideas, it are very interesting ideas. Maybe they are in very raw format right now because they don't know. Obviously, we are not teaching anywhere game designing kind of thing. It's like very rare thing in India, and suddenly we are asking people to design the game. But those are very interesting ideas, and we can imagine that people have a lot of ideas, a lot of innovation, but the platform is missing, where to go, how to learn, how to make, because the idea and the execution, the gap, that the journey needs to be filled. So a lot of people have ideas, but the execution is a difficult part. So we try to fill in that gap, whatever idea they have, the very basic, how to refine that, how to make them in a presentable format, or how to make them on a paper, because right now everything is in mind. How to write that on paper, how to do the storyboarding, as Kunnwar was saying, and how to submit that, because the submission also has a criteria. They have a PPT where you have to, write all the things, and you have to make a MVP kind of thing of your game, whether it's a digital. And there are some elements like a dice or something which you need to incorporate in your game. So we are trying to help them, as many students as if they are reaching us, we are giving them all the support, whatever is possible.
Whatever time and resources we have.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I think students can visit your website. I think www.skilleit.com. The students kindly note it down, www.skilleit.com, and you can visit the website, and you can share your ideas about Toycathon, and the team SKILLEIT will contact you, and they will mentor you and support you for this Toycathon event. So moving on to the next question is that, sir, So gamified learning and gamified, we are talking today, and Toycathon is also gamified. So any other startups across the globe is running in gamified things, sir?
So
Startups are established company like that.
as far as we know, and in our field of entrepreneurship, we have not come across any of such startup. But yes, there are some well-established institutions, like if you talk about Harvard, MIT, and there are some gaming professionals who have tried, but they are very high level and they are not for common masses. Like Harvard has a entire, they call it a business simulation, right? One of the simulation is trucker, where you have to, go through the simulation. You take a truck, which is a food truck, and you will be giving a location and a demographic criteria, and you take this truck online, places, choose your criteria, your target market, and you go through that simulation. And end of the day, that simulation will tell you that where you all made the mistake, strategical mistake of where location mistake or pricing, or where were your learning, what all things you did well. But that's all the scope is, and it is very expensive and it is not open to all. Others, there are business games, but there are no entrepreneurial actually game which actually can cater to the school kids, especially in a very normal, in a very practical way, and simplify the entire system. So if I give you an analogy, what Baba Ramdev did for yoga, before that we used to think yoga is just for people who are gone, they have left their house, or they are people who are highly into a spiritual journey and all those things. There were so many different notions, but now yoga is so simplified. Means I think everyone is doing yoga
in case
now.
you see YouTube, like everyone is almost teaching yoga also.
Teaching also. Otherwise, like going for yoga, okay, I need to do something very different, right? So that's how we are trying to simplify the entrepreneurial journey, the entrepreneur world or startup world, that it's also a simple thing and everybody can do. Same, and these are the part. Innovation is a part which is also simple. You do simple thing, you start one step at a time and you go. So I think at least because we have been, especially we went to the world's one of the biggest gaming convention, we were invited in Singapore. We were the only people with such game, which was entrepreneurship. Everything was pure game and game. It was nothing about education and learning. And same with the African countries, we are working with so many, they have never told us. And we have trained more than 200 top institution, faculties, professors from IIT to end. So they never told that, because we do take feedback and we always ask them if you have seen something like, or so they have never told that yes, they have seen something. And these are the people who have already come from world from outside, from Harvard and all. And we have also recently been working and talking with the team from Wartron. They have made a new gamified platform, which is not for entrepreneurship, but they are helping people to come on their platform. They can make games. So they were also highly astonished, and they appreciated that they have never seen this, and they will be happy to work with us to develop it further. So at least we know from Ministry of Education to a school to all these institutions, we are the only one which is doing that. And
I think coming from that Wartron platform, which is like an open source platform, that is also a usable platform for the students who wants to design the game, but they have to have a technical skill, or in their team they have to have a technical skill, but they are getting a free platform, and Wartron will help also with initial, how to use that platform and all those things.
Yeah.
So students
who are more into engineering and IT background, they can definitely use that platform. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Nice one, sir. Nice answer for the question, sir. So I think one tricky question I will ask mostly to all the experts who come for the interview with me, sir. Because once I was giving an innovation motivation to the students, one student asked me that he read a blog in the website. 8 out of the 10 startups getting failed in the first 3 years, then why you are motivating us to become an entrepreneur as a career, not going for the placements? So what is your answer for that question? Why students need to pursue entrepreneurship as career?
That's a very great question to be answered, and me being a real-time entrepreneur. So one, I differ from that statement because that is becoming a bigger and bigger. See, first, what is entrepreneurship? We have told that entrepreneurship is not just for startup. But yes, when you are saying that 10 of the 8 startup fails, that's where we are coming in again. Why they fail? There are multiple, elements of it. The first core element is most of the people, including me, when I jumped in entrepreneurial journey, I had no idea what exactly actually it is. Most of the time we see the greener grass on the other side, right? And that's what I also thought, but I was more into social side, so I was much passionate to go back to my village, living corporate life and do something and feel happy and contented about it. But the realities are very different because at the end of the day, you have to sustain. So we don't think and we don't know what is the core and what is the sustainability model of whatever you're trying to do, right? So that is the basic core. If most of us, we don't have that model. You can say business model, commercial model, I call it sustainability model. You have to sustain first, scalability, profit, everything is different. But if you have a sustainable model that at least you can sustain, because there is no overnight success. So that is the first model you should understand. If you have that, around that slowly you can build, progress and a good business model and a great startup. So that is the one core. That's why it is until it is known, and 8 of these startups which are youngsters, most of them, they don't have that knowledge, and that's why they fail, because they go with the passion, they go with energy, and then slowly they start facing those challenges which are already covered in our game, because they don't know what's coming next, right? So I'll give you a quick analogy. Let's say if I have to go from Delhi to Bangalore, and I am a very young first time traveler. Let's say I have just crossed my 12th class, or I have just passed school and I want to go out with my friend, or I am a first year college student and I have just born and brought up in a small place in Haryana. I have no idea how to go. And if I start my journey, I will have multiple challenges because I don't know what are the options. I don't know I have to take flight. I don't know what time is the train, how many days it will reach, what are other options, what else we need to do, any ticket clarification papers, anything, and what we will do when we reach at the midnight or morning, what about hotel. So if an entrepreneur is informed, so that is the big another thing, he is not well informed that what is the journey about. If he is informed that there are 4 options to reach Bangalore, Bangalore will take 2 hours by flight, to almost 2 days by a fast train, and if you take any other thing, adventurous bike ride or anything, it will take more, and it will take these different budgets, and these are the challenges, and what time you will reach, and what are the options to do next, where to roam, where to stay with. This is what we try to tell. This is the gap we are already filling. And once you know, then you can decide, should I go today, or should I mobilize resource, or should I cancel Bangalore? Okay, let's don't go to Bangalore, let's go to nearby city. Because point is to go to travel and fun, right? That is again the second thing. One is the sustainability. Second is they are not well informed. What is next? And then they keep struggling. Let's say you reach to a train station. Now you don't know how to book and you have not booked. And now you have to wait another 6 hours. Or you have to buy a ticket on a add-on cost or whatever, and your budget is gone. Now you don't know how you will go and sustain in Bangalore, and you don't know that Bangalore is expensive with the hotels and all. So every stage there are challenges. So if you are well informed, the journey becomes more better and the failure becomes less. Also, what do you mean by failure is also a very ambiguous statement. Everyone feels that if I am not reached to this level, and we think very short term. 6 months, 3 months, 1 year. That is the standard journey of young entrepreneurs. And then they come into that category and they say, we are failed. An entrepreneur is never a failure. He always come out with a learning, and that learning has to apply in the continuous journey. So anybody who says that I am failed and I am done and I am now doing something else, then I don't know if we should call him an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship again is a mindset. So if you have failed in a one segment, which is business, which is startup, but you have learned a lot, you go back, you apply that learning in job, you apply that learning with somebody else. So that is a big misconception. And if you go to the place which we always admire and we see Silicon Valley, you see Germany, you see Japan, you see European countries. If you really study all those people, the big entrepreneur, they have already been doing like this. But we just know the best part of them. They have left their job, they have rejoined companies, they have resigned from company, they have done something else, but they have not left entrepreneur per se. They were entrepreneurs, right? The day I leave that mindset, that is the day I am getting failed, not before that. So you should understand entrepreneurship is a journey. It is a continuous life path, and it is an attitude which you should carry. And it is not just the failure or success of your startup. That is one side of it. You can be a great entrepreneur and you apply that to be a great father, a great teacher, a great professor, great leader, a great corporate manager. That is entrepreneurship, right? And you keep changing it. You keep changing. That's how life. And most of us, we are not open. We think that if I have failed at one place, then they take a lot of time to shift, or they just leave it and they go into some kind of black hole. So that you should not do.
Also, I'll add, because we are hearing all the news of all the successful things, like if you are unicorn, if you are getting this funding, if you are getting this funding, only then you are successful. There are a lot of startups which are nowhere in news, but they are doing great.
And best of the startup are bootstraps, and most of us don't know this. These all startup which has become a fad, which has become like to see. They have a very different scale and different business model. Yeah. So
and also, when we do a job, I left my corporate job to start my entrepreneurial journey. When we do a job, we give 20, 30 years in a job. We don't say in 1 year that, I am not earned enough, or I am successful, or I am a failure. We never say in that job. Yeah? Okay, so but in a startup, within 1 year or 2 years, we say, no, we are not going ahead even. And if you see in a job, your journey is like very slow. Right?
Yes.
You are getting increment, you are getting promotion, but it's very slow. And you are doing the same thing for 25, 30 years. But in startup, we are thinking that everything will get too soon. So that's also misconception with the startup. When you're going to startup, there will be some magic. Obviously, whatever we are hearing news with all the successful people, there is a lot of struggle and a lot of failure. Everyone has failure. The successful startup, they have their own failure. They were doing something else. Now they are doing something else. They pivoted. So they kept learning. They were doing some model, they were doing something, and then they changed that because that was not working. So that doesn't mean if they leave that okay, I won't do that. Maybe we won't have so many startups around us if they were thinking like this. So obviously that's because but learning never you can't say that I've learned something and that also not useful. Learning is always useful. So I can say with my example, whatever I've learned in 10 years in a corporate, I've learned in 1 year in a entrepreneurial setup, because then you become a different person. It's a holistic growth kind of thing for as a person. It's not only as a businessman or business person or an entrepreneurial person. As a person, you grow because you see all the aspects you go through. You become humble because you work everything on your own. In a corporate setup, you're sitting on one side and there are a lot of people working for you and doing a lot of things. But here you have to do all the things. So that's a very, I think for me, though, I can say personally, it's a very interesting journey. And when I left the corporate job, there's no regret. So I'm enjoying it. I'm thinking why I have not started, much before than this. So everything has challenges. It's not that if you're going for a job that's going to be easy. And now the things are different. It's not that you're going in the morning 10 o'clock, coming evening in the 5 o'clock. Now the corporate setup or your boss also wants you to be an entrepreneur in your mind. They want you to come with a solution. They don't want you to come with a problem only. So when I joined my organization, initially one of my boss said, never come to me with a problem. Always come to me with a solution. I'll say, okay, do it. So that's how you develop. But when you going through the journey of maybe you're not starting a startup, but when you're learning about entrepreneurship, you develop that mindset. So what you're doing in a job, you're doing a micro, like a startup kind of thing. You are doing a project, you are making the MVP, you are going to present it to your boss, you are taking fund sanction, you are executing it. So it's the same system which you are doing. And if you have knowledge of it and then you are applying in a job, you have a better edge over the other person who are just like a normal manager. And those days are gone when you can just do a job like you go and come and don't do anything. So everything is changing.
So very rightly said. So failure is part of anything you do in life. You be a parent, you be a teacher, you be a student, or you do a job. Failure is the intrinsic part of your life. You have to fail. That is the key of learning. You cannot learn without failing, right? A child cannot learn walking or running without falling. That is the law of nature. So don't stick to that failure thing. Stick to the learning part of it. I think that's, and then quickly give one or two more example. Everyone now knows Byju's, but nobody knows that he took that mission more than 10 years back. He was a simple teacher like you, but he took that challenge and he had that vision. He had that ability to visualize, and he has that resilience to keep there. He had 10 years of failures. So that's why he has reached there. But if you just want 2 failures or 1 failure and you want success, it doesn't come like that, because failure and success is a very part of your daily life. So that is one. Another interesting story, most of we don't know that entrepreneurial journey is always dynamic. It's changing. So you can't be fixed with anything of yours. No, I will do this and this is what all I want. This is all I know and I don't want to do anything else. Talking about Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they were the best of icons of the startup world. Both have the worst of the time. Both were enemies. They have allegation on each other. They cheated. They copied each other. But at one time when Steve Jobs was kicked out from his own company, because people started feeling he was overpowering, he was too much to work with and all, and they kicked him out, and they have to bring him back. When they kicked him out, he didn't feel that I am failure and he went home. No, he started 2 other companies and he made them another great startups. And he again came back when they wanted him back, that it is you who can only do the justification with Apple. He came back. And at one time when he had no money, he was at the, at a juncture where it was do or die. He has to go to the fiercest competitor, Bill Gates, to ask money, and he helped him and he gave money and he restarted. So it's a very dynamic. So that's why collaboration, life skill, how do you collaborate? How do you see the totality of your ecosystem? So it's not just about you. Entrepreneurship is about people, about solving human problems, social problem, creating wealth, not for you, for others also. How do you work with people? Which is very different what we were doing. So pure business and startup has core difference. Pure business, traditional business is one man show, it's my business, my way or highway, everything comes to me, the entire money is my private ownership, even the failure is my also, that is there. That's how business used to work. but they slowly change. But startup is very different. You change your startup within 3 years, 2 years, 5 years. If you are becoming better, there is an investor. You grow big. You sell your stake. You do something else. So it's a journey. So I think don't feel like a failure, but yes, stick to sustainability model. Stick to learning model. Learn, and it's better to learn early. Fail fast, fail early. That's the tagline. And keep learning and keep moving. And keep applying that entrepreneurial learning to every phase of your life. That is all entrepreneurship is about. It's not just about startup.
Sir, I think you have covered the entire concept of startup culture, entrepreneurship, and everything, sir. So, moving on to the final question, sir. Final motivation to the students who are interested in entrepreneurship and innovations from your side.
Yeah, maybe Ritu is the first to answer. How did I motivate you?
So actually this one saying, because everyone in life has some goal, or everyone has that I want to do something, obviously. So number one thing you can think like, if I want to do something, why can't I do for myself or my vision instead of working for someone else? So, and you can add more things.
Yes, and that is one core thing, yes. But that my should be not that selfish my, but yes, you feel that you have something special. It could be your vision, it could be your skill, it could be your experience where you have got from whatever journey you have. And how do you apply it for a greater good? So if you ask about me, I was passionate about traveling. I did my bachelor master also in tourism. After that, I did my MBA and all other things. And I wanted to do something. And I was always thinking what to do. But my core was I will do something which is very different and which is innovative, which is nobody has done. So I love taking challenges, and I want to do something for my state, Haryana, which I had a pain that why people doesn't talk and come to travel Haryana. You never think of traveling to Haryana, right? You travel to all other states in India, but never to Haryana, right? And I wanted to change that. That's where I keep reading and I found. So that is one thing. That what is that one thing? It could be skill, your dream, vision. That is where you start. And second thing is, it's just a tip that don't jump in water straight away. And it is not necessary to leave a job or what you are doing to leave that. You can always start parallelly, right? That is one. And second is try yourself. That is the thing, because I have learned a lot, improved. Lot of things we do, we assume, I think I am great at that. I am good at this. I can do this. Yeah, if I get this, I will do this. Let's say most of students, when we interact, sir, only problem is funding. If I get funding, I can do this. Or less people talk about the real thing, the team. They talk about resources, they talk less about the process. So first is always try and test on a micro level. So don't assume, go and try it at a very micro level. That's one of our part of our program. We do micro launching that minimize your risk of future, and it also gives you a real-time feedback that all your assumptions, including what you can perform, how far you are better with that, what are the gaps, and how do you fill up the gap. So let's say when I started my travel thing, I have to manage everything. I have to go and see the business modeling. I have to go to travel agents and do the marketing in Delhi. I have to connect to people in my village to give all those services. And it was too much. And then I start getting people. So you have to realize, and you have to also say that, yes, I am good at certain things and I am bad at certain things. And these things which are gap, which are I am not good, which I am bad, bring people who can do it better, right? Always keep people who are better than you. That's how they bring you up. So the core of success of anything in life is teamwork. It is family, it is leadership, it is management, corporate, or a startup. Any idea is good or bad. It all depends what is your team, how good is your team to execute it. And the greatest of ideas are failed because the team is not great. It could be different parameters. They could not do it better, or they have their internal tussle, whatever. But the best of ideas, the best of teams are the people only who have done the best of startups. So we only know the people, who are the face value. We only know Bill Gates. We only know Baiju. We don't know people who are at the core of that. We only know Narendra Modi. Now also you know a few other team members. But if you don't have a team, you cannot make big. So bring something which is core of you out, try, test it at a micro level, and realize what you are good at, what you are not good. Bring people who are believe in your vision, mission, and then make a team and then go big. Don't do it reverse. We always do reverse. We start doing and then we fail because we don't get team. And the one question you asked, this is also one the most critical aspect why people fail, not in just startup, anything else, because they don't have a good team. And especially in India and now around the world, they now don't invest or fund ideas. They invest on the team because they know if this idea fails, this team won't fail. This team will survive. This team will make this happen. They will tweak, they will innovate, they will do whatever it needs, and they will survive and they will come back, right? So that is the core of it. So believe in yourself. Everything is possible. Every journey starts with a single step, and you have so many people around you, from APJ Kalam to anyone, and they were all entrepreneurs, right? They started very, very small. We are far better at now. We have so many things, resources around us. They had nothing. Now you have technology, Google at your hand. You can ask any question, you can find anything. So believe in yourself, but don't be overconfident. Try to have a good team with you. Go slow, go micro, then make a big. Our best wishes.
Also, I'll just add one line that at this age, when like students are in college or just passing out the college, I think that's the best time, because they have their best time, they have energy, they have passion, they don't have much of the responsibility which people face later on, that the family and all those things. So this is the time to experiment, actually. So this is
and I think
the time.
one more thing is that I think our experience when we went to a project for Haryana government in the government school, the entire education department was skeptical. Oh, they won't be doing something. They won't understand entrepreneurship. They won't understand innovation. But we were shocked. We were very optimistic, but we were actually more shocked, and more shocked when we went to the girls' school. They are separate, only girls' school. We just wanted to have a small group of 30-40 students, but every day when we were conducting program, there were more students coming, sir, can we join, and they wanted to do. And why? Because they don't have a barrier in your mind. That is the best part with all students, including the college student. You don't have that frame yet, which you will have slowly made. Then you will have a risk frame, then you will have family frame, then you will have, oh, this is not good, this is bad, what people will think. That is the right time to become entrepreneur. All the great entrepreneurs have started their journey very young. So that's the right time. So best wishes from me and Ritu and Team SKILLEIT. And thank you again, Rajashekharji, for inviting. And we look forward to collaborate and work for a better and Atmanirbhar Bharat with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful interview, sir. I think it has given a nice motivation for the student community and as well as for the entrepreneurs. So thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Dear friends, yes, ma'am. Dear friends, thanks for watching this video. Share this video to the students and entrepreneurs who are working towards the development of their innovation and creative ideas, successful startup. Subscribe, share, and comment your doubts so that we will reply for your doubts. Thank you.